Welcome to this Fixit channel, and we are going to talk a little bit about the distribution of Android, or the market share of each version of Android. As we are moving slowly ahead, we are more than 6 months after the release of, or close to 6 months to the release of, Oreo version 8 of Android. We know that Android is the most popular version of the operating systems of all operating systems, which is kind of normal when you think of all the Android devices out there. So if we look at the first part, which is the latest version, Android Oreo, which is version 8 and 8.1 together. If we look at this, it's 1.1%. 1.1% of Android devices now. So it's slowly, taking a little more of its place, but what a slow progression, and it's very, very, very weak. I believe this progression is actually slower than Android 7 Nougat even had. So tons of devices are still not moved ahead. I mean, if you got an older Galaxy S7 phone, for example, you're still not, and I'm still not, in Android 8. The latest devices, the very popular devices like the Galaxy S8 and latest Note 8 are very soon to be on Android Oreo. So slowly creeping up, but when when it's major devices start getting it, it's going to actually bump up the numbers. The most popular of all versions of Android right now, and by a very small margin, is 7 Nougat. So Android 7 Nougat, which is the one I have here on my phone, by the way. If you take 7 and 7.1 together, they account now for 28.5% of the market for Android, which is, of course, the most popular. And it's, a nice little bump of market share, but still, it's crazy because, I mean, it's Android 7 is still what is actually rolling out the most to devices right now that we're still, for example, on 6 version Marshmallow. And, it's very close. I mean, 7.1 together make 28.5, but 6 alone just makes 28.1. It's very close. I mean, there's almost as many phones out there and devices with Marshmallow version 6 than version 7. So pretty popular. If we, of course, go down again, if we take Lollipop, which is version 5.1 and 5, they account for 24.6%. That's not far off Marshmallow and Nougat, once again. So, there's really 3 active versions of Android being kind of used a lot, and that need to keep support because they are really, really popular. So 5, 6, and 7 together, they account for more than 3/4 of all the smartphone and tablets out there that run Android. So it's kind of interesting when you think that the latest version is barely making a dent. And if we go a little older, well, KitKat is at 12%, which is still a lot of people for a version that I believe has no more support for security updates. So that's kind of something not really cool. Jelly Bean 4.3, barely making a dent. Ice Cream Sandwich, which is kind of version 4 to 4.2, really, just about 4%, a little more than 4%. And Gingerbread 2.3 at 0.3%. These are old, versions that shouldn't be there anymore. So that's pretty much what we have in numbers, and of course check out your updates on your devices, your smartphone, and your tablets for Android. Make sure that you've got the latest version that you can possibly have on your device. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up, and thank you so much for following us on this channel.